Norwegian football club Brann, not to be confused with a Game of Thrones character, just won a massive legal battle, all involving their right to freedom of expression of their supporters. To give you some context, Brann displayed a banner at a Women's Champions League match saying UEFA Mafia. For this, the club was punished by UEFA, with the club being fined on 2 separate occasions. European football's governing body UEFA believed that such a statement was going against its regulations, meaning the club was responsible in the minds of UEFA for, quote, offensive statements of a provocative nature. Brann appealed both these fines with UEFA's internal appeals process, which saw UEFA basically say, nah, you're the problem here, and upheld the fines. However, Brann wasn't done. They went to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, basically taking European football's governing body to court. And on the 31st of March 2025, Brann's fines were overturned by CAS, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, with the court releasing its reasoning for doing so this week. In the case, Brann's lawyers argued that the UEFA Mafia banner had been a humorous jab at European football's governing body, and that supporters were exercising their freedom of expression. The club basically summarized that UEFA should get a sense of humor. UEFA's viewpoint had been that freedom of expression does not count within the confines of this example under the European Convention on Human Rights. The governing body basically viewed the UEFA Mafia banner as a slanderous statement towards them, and they took what they would deem appropriate action against the club. Brann will not pay a fine to UEFA, with the club putting the following statement out. SK Brann wishes to thank those who have contributed to this case, especially Jan Magni Isaacson and Erland Arlene, our 2 lawyers who have been solid throughout the entire process. We wish to thank the supporters leader Erland Wagner for the good cooperation, and our own football president for facilitating the meetings in Nyon, and as well for being a clear voice in the debate. We also thank UEFA's administrations for good dialogue in Nyon and London prior to the case. UEFA, in their own statement, justified its procedure in initially fining the club, whilst also accepting CAS's ruling on the matter, adding, in the present case, in no way has CAS affirmed that freedom of speech could justify that so-called fans make offensive statements. Moreover, CAS has confirmed that UEFA has legitimate regulatory interest of securing public safety and preventing disorder or improper conduct during football matches. The Court of Arbitration for Sport also clarified that the question of whether a statement is offensive or provocative must be interpreted in the light of context of that specific situation, and that UEFA's disciplinary procedure failed to achieve that in this specific circumstance, although CAS did also point out that such a term as UEFA Mafia wouldn't always be acceptable in all cases. That context was key to their decision and their ruling, and that UEFA must prove that the slogan was indeed offensive and provocative in context. The outcome is no fine for Brann, as previously established, and UEFA must pay the Norwegian club's legal fees.